Hello everybody and welcome to another tutorial in camera and lens repair. And this time, well, I will actually take a friend of mine asked me to take a look at this Lordomat Leidolf, I think it's pronounced, because it has some advanced problem. It will say, yeah, and there will also be some other details I will show. One thing, this video I will also recording, at least try to recording it in 3D with my little stereo camera, 3D camera. So, this will be the one video and this will be the other one. Yeah, well, it will be recording at the same time from the same position, so everything should be lined up. Now, this nice old camera actually has a problem, because when you try to advance, and this is a different camera, so you advance the opposite direction instead of going this way, or there is maybe an advance something on the bottom. But this one has to be pulled to actually, but you can see it has a little problem because nothing really happened. And so I went into the camera and just see what was actually wrong, because there were some broken parts, at least one, and it was actually the spring, the little spring that somewhere inside here, which I will show. And yeah, let's have a look at its side. We need some tools, at least a rubber gasket, something like this. You can buy in the hardware store. It's for the plumbing. If you go to the plumbing section, you will find some of those. It's really good for working with lenses and cameras and so on. I mean, if you have those the famous rubber cones, well, you could also use them as well. But yeah, some flathead screwdrivers, 3 different size. It's a 1.8 and it's a 2.5 millimeter and a 1.2 millimeter. Some dentist tool, which can be very handy, and of course a tweezer. So, but let's have a look. We jump into it. The only thing we need to take off is actually, it's quite simple. And I need to take off the rewinder, the 2 screws over here, the 2 screws over here, and of course the shiny screw on this here with the advance, and in that way there are 3 screws under here. And one thing is important: if I lift up the rewinder thingy, there is actually a small spacer underneath the rewinder button. I will show you soon. So yeah, we can just simply take that, starting with that. So unscrew this, and of course underneath somewhere there is actually a little I hope you can see it. It's difficult on the 3D camera. Well, there is actually a little steel ball and a little spring which sits underneath here, this plate. This plate with the ASA and the color and so on. And by lifting up that underneath, it's actually, I think it's with the, as I remember, it's under the dot here. See, there is a kind of a click function. So if we turn the ASA, it will click. So be aware of that, because if you miss that little spring and the steel ball, yeah, maybe have a hard time finding another one. Well, so we just begin with that. So have a good screwdriver here. This is a 2.5, and you just unscrew it as a normal screw, counterclockwise. Should be no problem. But as long as we have to take care of the little spring, have a good 2 fingers over the ASA, so the spring and the so the spring and the little steel ball will just pop away, and you probably cannot find it. So if we look here, you see the underneath of the disc, there are some small kind of a boring, or I mean, not a boring, it's just well, yeah, kind of boring, which makes the click function in here. And underneath that, well, we actually have the tiny steel ball here, which you can see it's absolutely small. So keep that in mind. Oh, come on. So, and the part is the little tiny spring here. As you can see, it's absolutely small. So keep it in a safe place. Now underneath here there is another, which if we lift up this here, you will lift off the see this cutout here. It's actually going over the rewinder axle here, and in that way it's locked in place. But underneath here, down here somewhere, if I can dig it out, probably using a screwdriver instead, a magnetic screwdriver, and if I should be able to, not really that easy, and simply take it out. So that spring has to sit where, yeah, we should. So keep that in mind. On the other side, we can just put this down, it's no problem. We need to unscrew this screw, and by doing the rubber tool here, turn it counterclockwise, it will say no problem. You just put it on, or you can just use the side here, which will make it a lot easier. By friction you will be able to turn it, and in that way unscrew it. Hopefully, it sits really tight. Well, you just do it again, and so on. Well, there is, as I actually see right now, I just used the rubber tool because it will not make any scratch. There is also 2 notches here, one there and another one here, and in that way you will be able to probably use a compass lens tool, whatever you have. But I think the rubber tool is just safer to use in that way. So now get off that, and underneath you will just see 3 screws, and it actually hold and screwed into another gear underneath here. So when I take off the top cover here, I will be able to also lift the whole top cover off. There's no need to take off the 3 screws here, no. And yeah, I'll just lift out unscrew this part here. No problem. It sits with countersunk screws. Not really countersunk. There's a kind of when the screws have to sit flush with the surface, or they just drill halfway down with a little bigger drill bit, and then that way the screws can sit flush with the surface. So 3 screws, and then I can lift out the film advance lever. It's nothing really special in that way. And now we actually see, it's not really the gear down here, it's more the part of the advance gear system. So I will take off the 4 screws, one here, there, and there, and there. And in that way it will be quite easy to just lift off the top cover. I actually thought I also should unscrew this and the accessory shoe, but no. And also this one, no, it's not. It's not the. We do not need to do that. There's not really much under the top cover. But let's. I have an idea if there was a broken spring or other small parts, but it was more in a different way than I thought. And since there's not much info about this camera, by disassemble it, so I think okay, it would be a good thing to actually do. The counter part itself is just sit tight over the axle. There's a pin underneath here, which we can see in a short time. So you just lift it up gently, and the other side, and simply pull it off without scratching anything. Yeah. Oh, here we are, almost there. So now it's free. So now we can see underneath how it looks, and then you see the counter itself, which is not really much about that. So yeah, that's it. So now we look into the actual advanced system. You see, it's very, very simple. There is a little spring here, which I can see it has been pulled really a lot. So maybe I have to cut a little away, so it's more, tight in a way. But let's see how it will actually go. See, there should be, and that's what I figure out, on this pin here. Hope you can see it here. On this pin here, there should sit a little, piece of spring steel. I think it's the name of that. So this is, it could also called blue steel or so. But this is this part here. It was actually in there. So when I opened the camera, this little tiny spring fell out. This is the new one I actually made, and it works. I think it will work pretty good. So what's happened here? I will just take off the spring, of the pin here and just lift up part of the advance system. You see, there are some spring underneath here, which of course it will prevent it from going backward when you actually pull the shutter. So it will prevent this pin here, will prevent it from going backward. Yeah. So underneath here, this pin here, there's another hook. I mean, I don't know the real name for that. But what I figured out, there is a really tiny little set screw in here, which you can see here, and it actually holds the little leaf spring. So it actually is working that way. So this one will, by the spring, go pushing into the towards the center, and the spring here will actually pull it out, and so it will, pull it in, of course. So it will prevent the little piece here from actually, yeah, it will keep it into place towards the center. And when you put it over here, it will, you can pull the advance, and when it goes backward, it click, 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 click. So, hope it makes sense. So, I need to unscrew the tiny set screw here, because it doesn't have to be fully out. It's not that long. And with a dentist tool, I think it can be possible to actually pull out the rest of this little steel, so we can actually, I had it out earlier to actually figure out how big should it be when I make a new one. And yeah, maybe the screw has to come out even more. Possibly, sometimes it's easier to just fully unscrew it. It's really tiny. Yeah, I can just let it be there, so it's fine. And hopefully get this bloody little spring part out. So it is there. Nah, not really that easy. So there. And hopefully you can use a plier to pull it out. Nah. Yeah. Hopefully. It's not that easy. It's not really that easy with the rubber gloves on, but just take care of my fingers. So, no, not yet. Maybe another plier would help. Where did it go here? Oh, so just take two. Now you can see it here, hopefully. It's really tiny, but it broke off of the other spring here. The other end of the spring. So I actually made a new one, which is the size of this, and which you can see here. It's 12 millimeters long. 12.1 millimeter long, and the width is 2 millimeter, and the thickness is 0.10 0.10 millimeter. So it's actually very thin. But where do you actually get that little spring from? Well, I figure out that some of those old-fashioned paper clips, I mean, they doesn't cost much in a paper shop. So I simply cut out with my Proxen tool, simply cut it out, and we can now see how it's done. So if you look at the next part of the video. So now I will cut the little clamp here, and simply cut it to the tiny piece that should be, as you can see, 2 millimeter width and 12, I mean something like 12.1 millimeter, and the thickness of this clamp is actually very thin steel, and it's something like as you can see here, the old one was something like 0.10 millimeter, and this is actually the same, the thickness of the metal, of the spring metal. So I will simply just use my Proxen, and it's very easy to cut. I just make a test cut in this material, and it's really easy to do that. The thickness of the disc, the cutting disc, is something like 0.53 millimeter or so, and it's really good. So let's see what happened. Just take care of my fingers. So let's go ahead and see how we can do this. So it was one cut. So let's do the other one, and hopefully it will go. Well, I think it will be fine for now, and hopefully I can cut it off. It's I've already marked it here. Just very gently cut it away. Shouldn't be it's not that easy, but yeah, let's give it a try. Let's see how good it will be. Maybe the spring will fly away. Well, oh. Okay, I think it's done. Let's see what where it went. Oh, it's right here. So that's the new spring. I will just file and grind it a little so it makes there's a nice soft edges, and then I will put it back into the camera again. I think it will be good. So let's jump into the next working process. So now we have the little spring in place, and I can actually put it on again, and it will not be that hard. So I simply just need to put it on, and a little help from a plier. It just needs to mean that it has to sit correct. So if I try to actually put it on here, should not be that hard, because the thickness is actually, it fits really good in here. Just need to have a little patience. And simply put it in so it sits correct. So you can see now we have the actual it's easy to actually getting to work. Just have to be sure it's this side, as I know. It should be fully flush with the surface here, so it will not interfere with the wire here. So let's see if we can make it. So it goes underneath, and like this. So now we are back on track, and everything should be fine. And maybe it has to be a little more upwards. Let's see. It has to be more towards this, so it will not interfere with the wire. I think it will be all fine, and then I can screw it in. So, and don't tighten it too much. So there. And now we have the spring back again, which is actually absolutely great. So yeah, that was part of it. And I think I will just give it some light lithium grease. Maybe I will use some Liqui-Moly or so. Should be light grease. And I will just use some isopropyl alcohol to just clean a little of the old grease away. Shouldn't be that much. In that way here. Wow. It looks like they use some molybdenum disulfide to actually use on this, the axle. We can also do something to the axle here, I would think. So it's not really much. It's not that hard. And then give it some, where is it going? Here. I think we'll just stick with the Liqui-Moly LM47, and it's just a tiny amount of that. Maybe it's not necessary, but I think, yeah, I think it needs some, at least some grease. We can just do a little. It's actually quite thin. Of course, that does not have to be way too much. And we can also give the little hook here. Or maybe it's better to just add here. So now that was part of it. As I think the screw is a bit too, what do you say, it's a bit too loose. I think I will just cut away just a little of it, and let's see how much, just a few maybe. I mean, it doesn't have to be too tight to pull, so I think I will just do yeah, I think I will just do that. Doesn't have to be much. Cut. So here, and where is this going? I just need to have a full turn. That way. And we can just bend it so it fits over the pin in that end. So now I can actually put it on the little wire here. Just need to have the end a little tricky, I guess. Nah, doesn't go here, maybe. Get it in here. Yeah. Okay. Well, nobody said it should be easy. That way here. So maybe it's just easier with a plier. Sometimes it's more stable in that way. So here we are. So now it's actually ready to be put on here. But I need to actually get the little well, hook, I guess it's called, but I don't know. And in that way I need to actually bend this a little. Oh, that way here. So, and in that way press it up. Oh gosh. If it's possible, maybe I can use my dentist tool to actually pull the little hook, so it just sit correct. It actually needs to be pulled a lot. See, it's quite where did it go? So just need to bend it a little, and hopefully it will come on. And let's see, it goes that way like I want it to be. Nah, it was actually bended a little too much. Ah, come on. I was not aware of that. Well, I haven't been into this camera. It's the first time actually is into it. I mean, not the first time, but, well, you know what I mean. So let's see if it will go as it should. Put it on here, and in that way. It's not that easy. Let's see if it's possible. Should come on in a way. So yeah, there it is. So hopefully it will work. Yeah, I think so. Then I can put the little spring on, and it sits where it should. So let's see if it's actually working. That's of course, the interesting thing. Oh, just good with a magnetized screwdriver. I just need to see it works before I actually close the camera. Okay. I can see the little spring is too weak, so maybe it's actually must be something like that. Oh, gosh, interesting. I think the little spring in here, it needs to be bended a little. So we just give it a try. It does not have to be so tight. So here. Well, nobody knows how strong it should be, how it should sit correct and so on. So I just need to bend it a little. Hopefully it will work. Yeah, not good enough. And, a little more. Yeah, I think it'll work. Yeah. It looks like it's fine, but I need to cut off a little of the spring. Maybe it's when I actually bend the spring a little, it will be actually fine. I mean, where do you get spare parts today for those old ones? Now let's see. Yeah, it's actually working pretty good. Maybe it's a little too weak, but it goes back when you release it. Double stroke camera. Yeah, I think the spring is a little too loose. I will think I simply need to cut even more off to get it just a little stronger. And so cut it away. And then just need to be bend it a little and put over the where's this tool here? Nah. So I think it will work fine. This dry, and just need to put the spring on again here. So that way. Okay, here we are. And then put the spring on the little pin. I say that's all fine, I guess. So maybe it's better that way, yeah. So now it's actually working. That's pretty good. There was one thing I will show you, because if the actual the distance, the rangefinder, which I think it's really a different one. It's if we look here, see in here, there's a little pin here. This pin is actually going onto the edge of this here, and there's a cutout here where it goes a little over, and if we look here, it will press on this little pin, and if we look here, so you can actually see the rangefinder is working that way. So how do you adjust it actually? If you need to make some adjustment to the rangefinder, the distance, maybe it will be the what do you say, the infinity. Well, we can simply take a look in here, take off one screw here, and get that out, and then that way we can see here. So if you look here to the, you can see how it works. So when I move the focusing ring, it will also turn. And as I see it, there is a little tiny area here where you can use a little wrench or so, or maybe a plier, to actually move this little, I mean this way or the other way, just to see if it sets on infinity, like it should be there. Yeah. You just need to turn this one way or the other way to move the actual this arm here, and it's again connected to the little mirror here. So when I move it, you can see it will, the mirror will also move on, and in that way it will shift the focus, I mean the imposed superimposed picture and the straight picture. So I hope it makes sense. So now I will just put it together, back in, and it should be quite easy. So hope you, I mean, it takes a little while, but sometimes it's not so easy to work on camera when working that stuff here. Sometimes things are not going as you expected. So that's here, and then put the top cover on, and just put it on here. You just press it, you just press it over that little pin here, and that's it, straight on. And you also have to take care of when you put it down here, so everything is lined up in a way, as you can see. Press it on, not too much, but so it is. It sits where it should. So now I can just put on the screws on each side. So, and of course we have to remember the little spacer that goes over the rear winder axle, because if you miss it, it would probably make some damage here, like if somebody has pressed it down a lot, it will also make scratch. So here, this is on here. So looks nice and fine. And since I didn't have another spring for this camera, yeah, I just need to adjust the parts I have already. So now we can put the advance lever on, and the 3 screws here. See, it's good with a magnetized screwdriver. It will make things so much easier. Wow, it works pretty good. So I can just put the fine shiny thing here on. So it's done, and then tighten it good. So that's it. And then the spacer. Need to put that on here. And then this looks like the grease is quite okay. Yeah. And the tiny little steel ball actually is here. It was just stick to the oh, so I can put this on. I probably need to push against the pin. So I just open the bottom screw, and where did it go here? Then I can put this on, and at the same time push up here, and in that way click, so it sits correct. Better put the back cover on and lock the back this. So now I need to put in the little tiny spring here. Should be, it doesn't matter how it sits. And okay, come on little fellow. So now it sits, and the very little spring here, I mean not spring but the steel ball, yeah, so it sits where it should. And probably just need to wipe away the old grease, which is not good anymore. So, and I probably should also do it here. Maybe I should have done it before, but yeah. So now it's better to just get rid of the old stuff and give it some new grease. And yeah, well, have to open it again. So there, and it should be something like that. Now on with the little spring again. So the steel ball, and come on little fellow. So, and then just give it a little just a little grease. It will, I think it will be Doesn't have to be much, but I don't know how much it should be, but so something like that. And yeah, I have to press it down as much as possible. So, and then put it on and then press down on it. Oop. And keep pressing down. And at the same time you put on the rewinder screw. So, then, nope. So, and I think it will also be possible to, wow, it works so much better. Now you can actually move it. It was really tight before. So, and the counter is also working. So that's pretty good. I mean, it came back to life, so you can one can advance the camera and use it to actually again take pictures. So that's all for me. Hope you enjoy the content, and yeah, see you soon. Bye bye.